Isabella never expected her life to collide with his. He was Adrian Blackwood, a self-made billionaire, known for his cold business decisions and guarded heart. Yet, behind the arrogance, there was a tenderness no one else had ever seen, until that night. The gala at the Blackwood estate was dazzling, but Isabella felt out of place among the glittering gowns and champagne flutes. She wasn't part of their world, just an intern, invisible to everyone. Everyone except him. Adrian's piercing grey eyes found her across the room. A silent invitation, a quiet storm. Moments later, she found herself in his luxurious penthouse suite, the sound of water filling the marble bathtub. Steam curled around them, turning reality into a blur of desire. He touched her like she was fragile glass, like he was afraid she might break. "Are you sure?" he whispered, his voice trembling despite his usual confidence. She nodded. And in that moment, she gave him everything, her heart, her trust, and her innocence. But what neither of them knew was that one passionate night would change both their lives forever. Weeks later, Isabella stared at the tiny white stick in her trembling hands. 2 pink lines. Her breath caught. She was carrying Adrian Blackwood's baby, and Adrian? He had no idea. Isabella sat on the edge of her tiny apartment bed, her heart pounding. The pregnancy test lay on the nightstand, its 2 faint pink lines mocking her with every glance. She touched her stomach, whispering to herself, this can't be real. But it was. Every memory of that night in Adrian Blackwood's penthouse came flooding back, the heat of the steam, the softness of his lips, the way he had held her as if she was the most precious thing in the world. And now, she was carrying his child. Isabella knew Adrian deserved to know, but how could she tell him? To him, she was nobody, just an intern, a name he'd probably forgotten the second the night ended. Billionaires didn't fall in love with nobodies. Or so she thought. Meanwhile, in his 80th floor office overlooking Manhattan, Adrian stared at his phone for what felt like the 100th time that day. He'd tried to forget her. He couldn't. "Who the hell are you, Isabella Hart?" he muttered, scrolling through her internship file. Something about her innocence had left a mark on him. She was different from the socialites and heiresses who usually threw themselves at him. She hadn't wanted his money. That night in the bathtub, he could still feel the way her body had trembled under his touch. And then she disappeared. Adrian clenched his jaw. No one disappeared from Adrian Blackwood. 2 weeks later, Isabella was summoned to Adrian's office without warning. She walked in nervously, clutching her files, her oversized blazer failing to hide the slight swell beginning at her waist. Adrian leaned against his desk, arms folded, eyes burning into hers. "You vanished after the gala," he said softly, almost accusingly. I had work," she stammered, avoiding his gaze. He stepped closer, towering over her. "Work?" His voice dropped lower, silk over steel. "Was that all it was to you, Isabella? Just one night?" Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream the truth. "I'm carrying your baby." But fear kept her silent. "It meant nothing," she whispered. Adrian froze. For a fraction of a second, pain flickered in his eyes before his mask returned. "Fine," he said coldly. "If that's what you want me to believe." But deep inside, Adrian didn't believe her. Isabella thought she could hide forever, but the universe had other plans. One afternoon, while reviewing contracts in the conference room, dizziness hit her like a wave. Her vision blurred, her legs gave out, and everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she was in Adrian's private suite at the company's medical wing. He was sitting beside her bed, his face pale, his jaw clenched. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked hoarsely, his hand resting protectively near her stomach. Her breath caught. "Tell you what?" she whispered, trying to play dumb. His eyes locked on hers, gray storms of anger and hurt. "Don't lie to me, Isabella. I know." She froze. "You're carrying my child. Adrian wants answers." Isabella fears his world. The media, his rivals, his family, everything threatens to tear them apart before they even begin. But Adrian Blackwood isn't the type of man to walk away from what's his.